Hello, welcome back to my stables. I am the DMobo, and welcome back to Echoes of the Past. As you noticed, I am by myself. The reason for that is I have not gotten my internal SSD back yet, so the footage from episodes 16 and 17 are lost. But the nice thing is I do session recaps for the party because a lot can happen in a week and sometimes we don't play every week. So this is just a nice little refresher for them. But you guys don't know the nitty-gritty details behind that. So sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy the short version of our story. Last session, the party, minus Sage, Amora, and Keith, were headed to the city of Gula, and they were stopped by a dark orange lizard man that highly resembled Keith. And after some high tensions with Bert and Grameel, they finally got to the palace and they had met up with Sage. And Rhea wanted to hug Sage, and she had seen Amora in the tank. Now, after a little bit of discussion with the king, he gives them basically a cleaning list. There are corrupted fiends in the desert that need to be taken care of, and when he means by corrupted, he means undead. So he says, since it was getting close to night, they were more than welcome to stay in Eldridge's old house. And on the way there, Sage ran into Rosemary, her final sister of the group of siblings. They got to the house, and the hint as she's getting in, it took Kirish and Sage to open the door because magic reasons. They went through the house. Sage and Kirish found their respective rooms, and Rhea and Sage had a moment, and they went, to explore the rest of the house, and they came upon a dark room that was littered with papers. Here, these papers are Sage's tattoos on her body. Kirish manages to walk in, and he notices that there is dried blood on the floor. And that's where we pick up. The party gets over the shock that Sage's tattoos are scattered all over the floor, and Bert tries to decipher the tattoos for Sage's back. However, the magic shows the runes, but they mesh into one big question mark. All of a sudden, there is a knock at the door, and it clicks. Sage goes to open it, but then the door handle starts to rattle. When the door still isn't open, there is banging, and an overcast gray mist forms over the door and windows and solidifies into solid metal. Rhea goes to back kick it open when she can hear the splintering of wood and the banging ensues on the metal. Korik uses stone shape on one of the former Dark Ruler's walls to the outside of the house, and they make their way around the house. Rhea can hear faint yelling through the city, and Bert uses comprehend language, and he translates it to Eldritch. Confused, the party creeps to the front of the house, and Sage recognizes the extra-large goblin as the one that was holding the Endure Elements potion outside of Togg's room. Rhea and Sage can see Grameel climbing on a wall across the alleyway as the roided-out goblin starts clutching his back and turns his back on the house. Shortly after the creature is turned, it becomes a pincushion, and an arrow is shot through its eye and skull and thunks into Eldridge's house. Grameel jumps down and has a short conversation about he and his companions knew where to go. Sage sets the poor creature on fire at the same time the creature looks at the party, his good eye slowly turning all black, and says, "Help me," before the flames cover his face. Grimiel takes the tip of his blade and slices from the back of the neck all the way down, severing the spinal cord from the body. Grimiel tells them that the king requires their presence and leads them through the palace once more. Standing there, alive and well, are Keith and Amora. Bert warns them that it might be an illusion or dark magics, but the circle against evil proves him wrong. When asked how this was possible, the king holds one hand out and shows the party the remains of the black crystal and describes that the energy released was cleansed and used to revive them. Kirish presses for more information, and the king responds in a language only he knows: Celestial. Eventually, the king says Paylor helped him out and pulls out a jar filled with golden yellow light, the last of the energy from the crystal. He offers to restore Rhea to her true form, but she takes the jar for safekeeping, saying if she and everyone survives this, she will use it then. Amora has an idea of how else to use it, but she keeps it to herself as she looks around for her gear. Once found, she puts it on and looks like normal, other than her wearing a black and blue trimmed robe. They finally leave, and Amora asks to see the sketch she did, and the sketch of the black back tattoo. The original has more runes, and more of a complete circle, but the tattoo on her back is missing runes and is covered by a light blue symbol. Out of curiosity, Amora asks Kirish to do any spell and compares the blue from the mage hand to her sketch and finds that the blues are identical. Not even sure why or how that came to be, the group continues on. The group theorizes that they can use the jar to restore someone's memories. Amora put out the idea that they can use it to destroy the phylactery without killing the dragon. They get back to Eldridge's home, and Rhea pulls Amora aside, and they speak of feelings. Hating to hurt Rhea, but knights cannot lie. Amora says that she does not return Rhea's feelings. She also told Rhea that there is someone that already has her heart, as she had done some digging when waiting for the party to arrive. Rhea takes a walk as Amora enters the house and has a brief conversation with Kirish. Korik and Solus go to bed in Mithrine's room. Bert takes the study. Riku and Keith fight over the couch until they realize they both can't fit. Rhea speaks with Mr. Flibble as she looks on the statue of her elven self and gets some answers. But as always, she ends up with more questions. She returns and takes a rest in front of the fire. Kirish and Sage take to their old rooms. Grimiel and his squad stay on the roof, watching the area. Amora stays awake, keeping watch, sharpening her blade. In the firelight, she examines her reflection in her sword and almost drops it, as for a brief moment a black dragon head looks back at her. She gasps and catches it, but makes it a point not to look in the reflection again. No one gets restful sleep, full of nightmares and flashes of scenes that Gondra does not remember. In Mir, people stand watch and a horn sounds when a torchlight is seen in the plain. Under the city of Tarn, a blue dragon sees the light and pushes on the stone, and it slowly gives way. The swamps of Brolk that house the final resting place of the black water dragon spawns more undead, and they shamble towards the city. Misa has the Illumians standing around their tree, with a woman kneeling and heavily breathing and bleeding, and a man healing her wounds. Ilya shows a tired troop of elves coming back, and there is a dragon in the square. The pink elf brings out a flute, and a torrent of birds kill some guards, and the dragon takes the corpses and retreats. Liba houses new prisoners in a small hut, a muzzled white wolf, and a bound, gagged blue man. In the dungeon of Death's Hall, a large lizard finally stands and kills the guards outside of his cell and bends the bars to free himself. And that's where we ended that episode. I can't remember what everybody's favorite part was, but the most important thing is they're enjoying it. And I know some of them listen to these just as a little refresher, but I love them all dearly and I appreciate them. This is the third time I've started my campaign, and they have gone so far off the books that half the time I don't have to pull up my script. And I love it. I love they go off the beaten path. I love that they think outside of the box. It just makes me really happy that I have a group of people that we can be silly with and we can just chill out and they can be badass heroes for a few hours. My favorite part of that episode was the fact the party had to choose, do we keep the jar of magical energy to help the dragon? Or do we use it to heal Rhea? But you'll have to figure that out next episode. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this short little recap of session 16. If you did, leave a like down below. Comment on is most intriguing about this episode. Maybe I can give a few little lore hints and drops. As long as Rhea and Sage promise not to read the comments down below for their own spoilers. Don't forget to peck that bell and scratch that subscribe button so you know when the next video comes out. And I want to say thank you very much to Momabo and Dadabo for getting me a new mic setup. For my birthday, they got me a really nice quality mic, and it's pretty damn clear. I did a testing in two, and holy hell, it's amazing. I still have to fiddle with the little mixer box, but I think I'm missing a jack that'll actually fit into the plug, but that's an experiment for another time. I hope y'all are having a good one. I hope y'all are staying warm if you are in the colder climates. Drive safe, be safe, and I will see you guys in the next episode. DMobo out.